I do too.
It is. It's hard to turn it off when you go home.
And it's nice. I like it. I can't.
Right.
Don't do it. I don't understand.
Right.
Spend too much money. But
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about it. That's what I mean. It's like my thing.
Right.
I don't think
It's
about it.
a fine balance of, it's not my child and I gotta help this
Yeah.
problem.
But I'm working to turn it off.
Good. I still have to work on it.
Oh.
Still got to do that part. I started in November 2019.
Okay, I give you more money. Give you a pro.
Oh,
You're embarrassed for her because
He's gonna call
you were
the
department
meeting
chair.
over.
Right.
You would not believe.
I didn't know when you
That's how
needed
I
to
operate.
I think my husband was like, you.
Yeah, we're ready.
Oh,
Hey.
well, that's at night, we're doing our own salad. I know, but, you know. But
All right.
I
You guys ready? We'll call the meeting to order at 6:33.
I got my candy wrappers. My glasses on, I can't see. Oh my gosh, staff holiday luncheon? It should be the holidays, like. It seems crazy.
Okay, welcome everyone. We're going to start with our spotlights of the month. I feel so honored to recognize not only volunteers, staff, but just a wide variety of important people at our school. So I'm going to start with volunteers. This month we are recognizing Heather DeNormandy as our volunteer spotlight. She is the parent of Wyatt, who is in 4th grade. I'm going to leave her picture up here so we can admire it while I talk about Heather. So what PAC says about Heather. If you had the pleasure of seeing Heather as a teacher, you know she has a way with kids and adults. If there was a Discovery cheerleader, it would be You heard of the name. I'm going to start over. Our volunteer spotlight for October is Heather DeNormandy, parent of Wyatt in 4th grade. So what PAC says about Heather. If you had the pleasure of seeing Heather as a teacher, you know she has a way with kids and adults. If there was a Discovery cheerleader, it would be Heather. Her light shines brightest when she's making other people smile, or as she would say to her kindergartners, filling their buckets. Heather has pulled floats, been dunked, plans the staff luncheons, co-chaired an amazing fall fest, showered volunteers with support and encouragement, both as a teacher and now as the PAC VP, and everything in between. Heather is someone you can count on, someone that you know is going to give 110% to whatever you ask her to do. The one that is always looking at the bright side, an asset and an advocate for Discovery. We are fortunate she found us as a teacher all those years ago and chose to transition to parent and volunteer extraordinaire. She truly has a hand in the culture that sets Discovery apart. Heather is a giver, and she very clearly has a helper's heart, which makes her a super volunteer and a huge asset to our school. She is a true delight to be around. She's smart, always thinking, friendly, funny, and cool. So if you get the chance to volunteer with Heather, you should take it. Now, what staff say about Heather. Heather is upbeat, personable, and the positivity and fun radiate from her. If you've ever met Heather, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She's a superstar volunteer. She's always willing to help out around our school with whatever needs to be done. And she always does it with a smile on her face. She has come in on short notice to make copies for the 4th grade team, sent in coffee several times on days when they needed a boost to get through the school day, offered to chaperone when they needed someone on short notice, help in the classroom odds and ends, and always volunteers for Caroline. They could go on with all the wonderful things that Heather has done for our classroom and school. There's not a list long enough. Heather, thank you for being such a dedicated volunteer. Your love for our school, our students, and our Discovery community is appreciated and valued. We're incredibly lucky to have you. Thank you to Heather. Come on up here, Heather. There's so much to say about you, I had to put on 2 pages.
You need a drink now, of water.
I need a break.
I'm putting this on my resume.
All right. So now we are going to recognize some staff members. I'm going to start with Mrs. Christie Castro. She is our 4th and 5th grade instructional aide, and she is new to Discovery this year. And yes, Christie is here too. I know Heather made an appearance here, but Christie is here as well.
I feel like you need to go out and come in.
Yeah.
We need a curtain.
So what staff say about Mrs. Cothra? Mrs. Cothra has been a tremendous help this year. When I was out, I'm speaking as a teacher, for my knee and came back, she was there for me the entire first few days to help me get caught back up. If it was not for her, I would have still been playing catch up. She's always helping kids, very intelligent, and a wonderful support that we have endured. I want her to know all her kindness and help is appreciated. Another staff member. Christie should be nominated for the Staff Spotlight because she is always positive, calm, and helpful to the students. She's always trying to make sure that we are all supported by checking in with us. It is not easy to support 6 classrooms, but she does it with efficiency and ease. Another staff member. Mrs. Cothra has been a really great addition to our team. She's taken the time to get to know all of our students, interact with them, and build a good rapport. She has such a calm demeanor, which is really helpful when handling tricky situations with students. She's always checking in with the teachers to see what she can do to support us and or the class. It's been such a blessing to have another person in the room to help students during work time. I'm not sure how we managed without her before this year. I hope she knows just how much all 6 of us appreciate her thoughtfulness, dedication, and enthusiasm. Mrs. Cothra deserves an Aide of the Year award. Thank you, Mrs. Cothra. Come on up, Mrs. Cothra. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to recognize another staff member. Mrs. Martha Gala, 1st grade instructional aide. She is here tonight. What staff say about Mrs. Gala? Her love and excitement for our students is so endearing to witness. she cares deeply about helping each of us teachers and has been so flexible to meet our grade level's needs. Another staff member. Mrs. Gallup is amazing at her job. She jumps in to help whenever and wherever needed. Her support for students and teachers, both academically and emotionally, is remarkable. Discovery is lucky to have her as part of their school family. What students say about you. I like how kind she is and how she doesn't let me give up. I like that I see her at school, but also Fall Fest, Run Club, and she's always happy to see me. Another student, she cares about everyone and always listens. Thank you, Mrs. Gallup. And finally, on to our students. We are going to start with Leanna Valadez, and she's going to come up here. Come on up. Leanna's in 4th grade. This is what staff say about you. Leanna is such a great student, and I love having her in my class. She's kind to her friends and classmates, and is always sure to include everyone when she is playing or talking in a group. I can tell it's important to her to make sure no one feels left out. In the classroom, she's a fabulous role model for others and does a great job setting the standard for being an active listener. I love how she offers kind, gentle reminders to others so they can do their personal best during the day. Leanna's loving personality and her ray of sunshine attitude inspires those around her. She does her best to remain positive and doesn't allow a negative situation to ruin her day. I've observed Leanna helping friends work through problems objectively when something has them feeling down. Leanna is always smiling. It's contagious. I'm very proud of the academic and social progress Leanna has made so far this year. Keep up the awesome work, Leanna. What students say about you? Leanna is kind and a good listener. I like to talk to her. Leanna is a hard worker. She helps me when we work on projects together. Thank you, Leanna. Okay, next up, we have Jadalyn Honeycutt. Come on up. She is a 6th grade student. What staff say about you? Jade is an enthusiastic and bubbly personality in the classroom. She always has a smile to share, even with a mask on, and enjoys sharing stories with others. Jade loves to read and is always sharing the latest book she is reading with her teacher. Jade always has a positive attitude and takes everything in stride. So even on days where things are not going her way, she is always trying her best. She is so fun to talk with and always brings a smile to her teachers' faces. Jade is a very thoughtful and kind student. She never has a bad word to say to anyone, and instead is a bright light of positivity in every room she enters. Jade really enjoys sharing stories, especially in composition, where story writing is encouraged. She speaks highly of her friends and loved ones, and as a teacher, I can tell that she really appreciates the people in her life. Jade does a great job of staying on task and on top of her work, and she will seek out help from her teachers if she ever needs it. She also does a good job of checking in with her teachers, something 6th graders sometimes struggle to do. What students say about you? Jade is really nice. When classmates need something, such as a pencil, she is always willing to lend things to others. Another student said, she is a great friend and fun to hang out with. Thank you, Kate. And finally, we have Eric Platt. Come on up, Eric. Eric is in 8th grade. What staff say about you? Since joining Discovery a little over a year ago, Eric has made the most of his short time here. Eric is involved in many clubs and is always willing to help out in any extracurricular activities. In the classroom, you can always find Eric working diligently to accomplish any task he may be facing. If you're looking for a good role model for others, Eric is your guy. He is respectful of the people he interacts with in any situation. We are lucky to have Eric here. We wish he had come sooner. What students say about you? Eric is smart, funny, and a team player. He is a good friend. Another student said, he is successful at many things. He can even make his own canoe oars.
Wow.
Thank you. It was wonderful recognizing each of you. Let's give another round of applause for all of you. And we're going to continue with the board meeting. So at this time, if you would like to go, that is understandable. Thank you for coming.
Congratulations, everyone. All right. The minutes, did anyone have any questions, concerns? Motion to approve? Second. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? The motion to approve the minutes is approved. Financials?
Okay. Hi, everyone. We have completed our first quarter of yet another fiscal year and academic year. And I'll draw your attention to the balance sheet, first of all. We were enriched by a considerable amount in September due to the collection of some grants that we had accrued as receivable in the prior month or two. So you see our cash balance is a robust $1.3 million, just under that. And the other side of that on the balance sheet is the grants receivable went down to zero. So we had accounted for the grant revenue in previous months is basically what that means. But again, our cash position is excellent. And we had one capital expenditure that was for the pavement, the brick pavement project down payment. Nothing otherwise remarkable on the balance sheet, which again is very strong. I'm moving to the profit and loss for September. My apologies again, we don't have the budget in here yet. We got diverted by the ERTC project, and I'll have it in probably within days, so I will reissue the financials with a comparison to budget, both for the month of September and for the 3 months ended September 30th. Nevertheless, for the month of September, we lost $12,726. Primarily because food preparation expense of $25,000 for the month of September was unusually high, but we just got reimbursed for that today.
Yeah, the reimbursement was much higher these first 2 months as well.
Right, the reimbursement. So that was a timing difference, which we've recovered by deposit today from the federal lunch reimbursement program. So
that made up the whole difference?
yes.
Yeah, I want to say September's was like 27,000 reimbursed.
It was about 25. It was about the same as the expense, and considerably more than August at $4,800. And so it's a timing difference. We have recovered that through reimbursement. That hit today, actually, so that'll be reflected in the October financials. For the 3 months ended September 30th, we then have a loss of $33,636, a deficit. That's pretty much in accordance with budget, as you'll see when we get the budget input here and have a comparison of budget to actual. Again, as a reminder, we have submitted the PPP application for forgiveness. I expect that to be routine, and at that time, the PPP loan of $507,000 will go from our balance sheet as a grant to the income statement, virtually assuring us of a surplus for the year. So these are all in accordance with our budget, and I don't see any variations imminent, no surprises. Also, so again, the RTC application, are you going to go over that again, Ernesto, the whole process? And what
Go ahead.
Yeah. So as explained last meeting, employee retention tax credit is a significant program of the federal government under the COVID provisions. Allows us to get a reimbursement basically of employer paid payroll taxes plus a credit based on employees on the payroll going back from March 13th of 20 and quarterly for 2020 and quarterly again for 2021. It's an enormous number. We're ready to submit the application for the first 3 quarters of 2020, and my estimation of that is it's $5,000 per employee for all 3 quarters. If we have 40 employees, that's $200,000. The 2021 quarters is considerably more than that and quite a bit richer. It's $7,000 per employee per quarter. So this is what we've set up now. The applications are complete. They're being submitted probably this week. What else? The CFIG, the Keys to Quality grant is done, basically. We have another month to draw on that. Some of that was in the grants that we received in September, but we were notified that we will not be able to apply for that again. And so that's it. So CFIG grant is coming to an end. That was $780,000.
Over 2 years.
Over 2+ years. And so it's been more than adequately replaced by the federal government's COVID programs. A lot of what we received in September was the ESSER grants, which is another COVID program. So anyway, we're in good shape for this fiscal year, there's no question about it. And the audit is in progress. I expect a routine draft audit report in the coming days. CLA, the auditor, I love this remote auditing. Nobody asks any questions whatsoever. Throw everything onto their portal, of course, onto their information exchange, and pretty soon they're done.
Yeah, I've not heard anything from them this month.
Not at all. Nor have we. We have 3 of them going with CLA now. And so anyway, audit's almost complete, coming to completion. Our cash position is excellent. We will soon have a giant hit to income on the financial statements, although we have the cash and have had for about 8 months now. That's it.
Any questions? Motion to,
Alan, what's the total amount of the ERTC between both years? Just ballpark? It was $200K for the first, for 2020?
Yeah, well, Cliff, our facilitator here, said it will approach $1 million preliminarily.
Wow.
I would say $600,000 to $800,000.
After the
Now,
15%,
Yeah, the wait time once the applications are submitted is 120 to 180 days. So it could very well be 6 months. I asked Suzanne, who's not here tonight, to inform me when they get theirs from her application from Dumoulin-Wide, because she applied more than 6 months ago, and I'm quite sure as of last meeting, she hadn't heard anything yet. So, the government, is working very slowly now, the wheels are turning very slowly, but I hope surely. So, once we get that in, we just have to keep our fingers crossed, and it'll be 4 to 6 months before we know for sure.
I wasn't able to open, Ernesto, any of your documents. So I've not looked at the payables.
Pull it up and I think maybe I can help.
You can help me? I kind of,
Okay, you can.
I think
It
it's 'cause we
may
have-
prompt you for a password, so
I
you
did,
can just use the
and it
password
just
that
said
I
I
sent.
wasn't, and then it said my email was not,
Did you use your personal email?
yeah.
And see, I use 365 for my personal, that's why it's not gonna show, you know what I mean? Cause it's looking for my account.
And it
Yeah,
said
but I also gave you all access too, so.
on our
I may have to do
personal,
some more
I
troubleshooting.
didn't have to type anything,
Okay.
I just clicked and it brought me right to it.
Probably logged into Microsoft with a different.
Yeah. It could be it too.
I mean, should I use my personal email? I mean, what?
It doesn't ask me for an email at all.
It didn't
just
ask you
asks
for an
me
email?
the-
Because she's.
Okay.
Yeah, I
probably
was
logged
fine.
in.
There's two though, you send a second email that is just the link,
Yeah.
that one didn't work for me, but the
Okay.
first one, the first letter,
The first
and if you
one.
click on that, it goes right to it.
Where is that at?
I was able to pull it up, wasn't it?
What date?
Sorry.
Sorry.
Lisa and I tried troubleshooting it and we finally got it to work, so. Before we send it out to everybody.
It's the one from Tim, actually, cause that
Oh,
was the
from
last one
Tim?
that.
Yeah, I replied to Tim's minutes email.
The subject is board minutes.
Oh, Tim's minutes email. Okay. I didn't scroll all the way down this evening,
Yeah, we just gotta work on the.
Yeah.
or yesterday, I guess. I didn't scroll all the way.
Yeah,
down.
because there's two ways you can share the link or you can add people manually, and I did it both, so you probably may have got a second already.
It's this one.
See, it's probably this, and I don't get it on my Mac.
Is that where you've been placing the board?
We put
minutes?
everything on a drive, right? So everything's in
Yeah,
one
just the
place.
second
In OneDrive, but not the
I
same.
just made it again,
It's
cause that
been
was
good to
half
know.
the hard.
Yeah.
We've been using that.
It's not the first link from his email, but the second one.
I had a hard time with the second one and the first one.
Right.
So was there a motion to
Because it's
approve?
Oh,
the
okay.
financials?
It's in the middle of 3 emails.
Julie,
Yeah, it is.
Okay, I just won't vote.
Payables as well.
No, there's enough quorum. I mean, I just won't, because I haven't looked at it.
No,
Didn't we learn that? Don't vote on something that you're not familiar
I
with?
did, see,
There
I'm
you
people
go.
haven't looked at it.
Book study's paying off.
Well, I
Yeah,
think,
because you guys laughed at me.
did you make the motion? or did-
I did, no.
Oh, okay.
I move to approve the financials and
Wait,
payables.
no, I don't believe you. I just
I'll second.
didn't open it.
All
I
in
don't-
favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? And then Julie, you sustain.
I sustain.
Just a reminder on the,
Abstain.
this employee, tax credit is that, the cost is 15% of whatever we get. Not until we get it, not until we get the
Correct.
money and it's actually in the bank. So that'll shrink by 15%, whatever that number is.
It's a good deal for them.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
they found a nice niche.
they found a good.
And they
niche.
have to deliver to collect, so that's why it's, it was
How
a
much
good-
time did they put into it? What, was it a lot of work?
No. No. No.
Yeah.
As I said,
Well, by now, they probably got it down to a science, right? It's very formulaic.
Yeah, I
now,
get-
'cause
yeah.
This is what
Yeah.
all they're doing.
Yeah,
Tim's
they-
ready to change
They
jobs.
just seized the opportunity.
They found a niche and they rushed into it, which was good, because we couldn't have found the time to do it. It's
Yeah.
still enough of a commitment that, we couldn't have done it, so I recommended this approach to a number of clients.
Yeah,
But that's all you're doing then.
yeah.
Do we have any public comment tonight? No? Fantastic. Matters for discussion, the November, December board meeting. I do feel like we will need to have one, but do we just want to have one instead of one for November and one for December?
I would say December.
December have it?
It's already almost November, so.
Like 1st of December.
No to that week, because that's the trial, but we could do the 8th or the 15th.
I think it's scheduled for the 15th.
Can we
Already.
move it to the 8th possibly?
I will not be here for the 8th, but
Or can I call in on the 15th?
Yeah, we could do that.
I have class that starts at 7.
Okay, we could do that.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll keep it on the 15th, right? And then we'll, cancel the November one.
So cancel the 17th?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can give it to them afterwards.
That's awesome.
All right, and then recruitment terms process, I know I got this to you guys just when you got here, but I just put together a little, well, first of all, Tim, thank you for your service. Tim has, his term is up and he is not renewing his term.
Is that
Um,
allowed?
Really?
No.
You catch it in time.
Coinciding with the school year at least.
So thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
So with that being said, we need to think about recruiting another person for the board. So I put together, what I passed out to you guys, just kind of like a little blurb of what we are looking for. So if you guys just wanna read it over, and then, if you're okay with it, then we can get it posted and sent out.
I think we need a clarification in the third bullet point.
Right.
It says employees or family of Discovery Charter School. Do we mean immediate family of school employees?
Employees.
Is that what's intended, I assume?
Yes.
Yeah, so we'll just add employees after school.
And if you guys wanna add anything too.
So an open board session with whatever
It'll
members
just be
can make
probably,
it.
yeah, well, it'll probably be like before a meeting,
Okay.
or
Well,
technically it will
it
be a
would be a
meeting.
meeting,
Yeah.
Special meeting.
Okay.
I mean, it wouldn't have to be right in the middle of the agenda like right
Right.
now.
No,
but
it can be its own meeting,
Yeah, a special
but
meeting.
it, but a
yeah.
public meeting, yes.
Yeah. Where is this gonna be posted?
We usually do it in the paper, right, in the past?
We've shared it
And then-
before with universities, and we've put it out to families that we are looking. I don't know that we've ever published it in an actual paper.
Yes, when you, like on the newsletter, like you've sent out,
Mhm.
or a separate email.
Right.
And then, I don't know if it's been in the paper. I don't know.
I feel like it was at some point, but was it?
So it'll be on the school website, the newsletter, Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And do you send an email
Mhm.
out to the,
Yeah, I remember coming in the email.
yeah, I think.
And then if you guys have any other places that you want it put, we could put it there too.
When, it
Just
says,
email me.
my only question is like board applicants, I would think, I mean, are we necessarily, yes, I think we do need a law degree preferred. Are we gonna get anyone who doesn't have a law degree to even apply? I know it says like seeking board applicants, like in plural, but
Should we put, but not required?
yeah, or just,
Or board experience, maybe?
or, I mean,
would
like
that
law
be-
degree preferred and then another bullet point, I mean. I don't, you know what I mean, like
Don't wanna discourage people.
I don't wanna discourage anyone if you
Preferred, but
don't
not-
have a law degree, but
Yeah.
there could be someone fantastic out there that's not a lawyer.
They almost certainly must be, or,
What?
someone's wonderful is probably not a lawyer, I guess is what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that, but
Well, that's
maybe.
what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm still looking for one. It's wonderful, yeah.
Then we know one.
Yeah.
Law degree preferred, but no lawyers, please.
There you go. Yeah, someone who got out, yeah. Yeah,
Public
maybe
defender.
Preferred but not required.
preferred but not required, that.
Cause we're not, I mean, we don't have to just do one, we can do two if we find two great, you know, we're not
Absolutely.
set on a certain number of people
Right.
ever on our, I mean, we have a cap and a minimum and a max, I guess. But, I mean, if there's two fantastic people, once again, I mean, or, you know, I don't know, that's just my thought, I don't want someone not to, at this point, not apply just because they see, oh, I'm not a lawyer or something, I don't know.
Yeah, and Kelly, you said prior board experience, that's
Yeah, that's a good one.
a good one.
Should we put again, not required?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, if you guys think of anything else in the next couple of days, just send it to me, and then if not, we'll just get this out there, and then, maybe, hopefully, November, we could have a meeting for this, and then vote on it at the December meeting. We'll see how it goes. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about with, it kind of goes in this area, was what do you guys, just putting it out there as far as a student being on, not on the board, but like experiencing the board, not having a voting position. It's something we have to decide now, but just kind of throwing it out there.
Like a Discovery
Discuss.
student or a high
Yeah.
school Discovery student?
And then the superintendent contract, the only thing, if we can do an executive meeting on Wednesday at noon about that. You guys are free.
What day is that, I'm sorry?
Wednesday the
Or
3rd.
I won't be able to do that.
Could you guys do an evening on the 2nd?
I could do that. You said the second.
Tuesday the second?
Yeah, like maybe 7:30.
like here or Zoom?
Well, we could do Zoom.
Yeah, Zoom is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay, so let's do 7:30 on the 2nd. Perfect. And then the staff holiday lunch, and I put it earlier than later because I feel like we're always doing it last minute and
Yeah.
no one is available. So could we pick a date for that and then go from there? What day do you guys prefer?
What does this entail? This is at school during
So
the
the
day?
school, yeah, so the school board for, the holidays will do a lunch, so I'll pitch in and have it catered from somewhere. We've done Bartlett's in the past. And then we decorate this room with like lights and make it a fun ambience, and then we serve the staff.
So like the week before the holidays?
Usually you guys tell
Week of
us.
the 13th is good,
So
if we can do
I
that.
can't Tuesday, Thursday, if you want my help, I can't. those
let's
days.
do when,
What if you did it on that early dismissal day on Wednesday, and then it wouldn't be like a rushed lunch, because that was always the issue I felt like, and they just did like a late lunch at 1:30.
sorry, that was my PAC president coming out.
On the first, you're saying?
We can't do that week, we
I
have the
can't do
trial.
the first.
Yeah. The 15th,
Yeah, any Wednesday's fine, or Monday or Friday.
okay, let's plan the 15th then. And then I will get some quotes, December. Yeah,
December.
It's a Wednesday.
Is that December 15th?
And then it's usually, what is staff lunches right now?
If not, I
what
just put an
time?
extra 20 on it.
Like, do
I
they
can't
start
get in, so
11?
I'll try.
till like 1:30?
10:45,
I don't
right?
know, off the top of my
10:45.
head.
Yeah, 10:45 to 1.
Till about 1:30.
So if a couple of us could just be here during that time and then a little bit before and after to clean up. We usually use the good china and wash it in the cafeteria.
Usually make
And that's
desserts too, if you have a good dessert.
Everyone brings in something. I will call a couple places and get some prices and then email you guys what it will be each. If anyone has any ideas too for catering, let me know. Any other thoughts of that? All right, and then matters for approval, the annual certified employee retention bonus.
Yep, so I sent around the document, so for the third year in a row, we will be distributing the certified retention bonus. If you recall, this was part of our justification to Ball State, when we had asked for reduced fees to be able to put more money in our employees' pockets. And so it's based on the number of years of completed experience at Discovery. And so the spreadsheet kind of breaks down where everyone's at. And then this year it equated to $157.89 per year that an employee has put in and given to Discovery. So that'll be processed the 15th. Unless there's any questions or concerns about that?
Motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
So Mr. Muller doesn't get credit for past service?
He did.
Oh,
He was here 1 year.
oh, he was only here 1 year, okay. Got it. Sorry to interrupt.
No,
No.
you're fine.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? The motion for the annual certified employee retention bonus is approved. Staffing report?
Yep, and then so typically we would just include this in the school report, but as we continue to look at things and make sure we have things in place, we've adjusted, and this will now be part of the matters for approval each month, anytime there's any staffing updates. So you can see they're listed, staffing updates for this month, and so that just needs to be approved as well.
Anyone have any discussion?
No, I move to approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion approved for the staffing report. And then the school report.
School report, so we are up to 522 students. We started the year, our fall count was at 512. So we continue to gain new students. We've put in some new open house dates on the calendar leading up to winter break. The application for the new school year will go live, and it's live now. You just can't enter new applications for the kindergarten group until November 1st. Nothing going on facilities-wise. Grants, we finally got final numbers for Title II-A and Title IV, so those will be due by November 30th. Title I's already been submitted. As Alan said, they had to adjust the CFIG grant, so that is the one that we received in its initial run from the federal government through the Indiana Department of Education, where we automatically qualified because we met the federal requirements on the federal report card. But because of COVID, because of the changes with accountability and no updated accountability measures during COVID, the Department of Education changed how they were distributing those funds. And so now it is a competitive grant. And if you've already received CFIG funds, you can no longer receive them this round. So we are not eligible to apply for them for this round. And it sounds like going forward, they're just 1-year grants instead of the 2-year grant cycle that we got the first time. Certified staff retention bonus. Fall stipends for clubs and staff member positions will be distributed on November 30th payroll. We will also be on the lookout for the teacher appreciation grant, which comes from the Department of Education. We typically get that the first week of December, and that has to be by law distributed within 20 days. So we will be prepared to distribute that on the December 15th check, I believe is typically how we do that. And that goes to all certified staff members who have a direct hand in instruction. And it is based on the previous year's evaluation rating. So staff members who were rated as highly effective have to, by law, receive 25% higher stipend bonus than those who were effective. So it's very formulaic. And so we will look to distribute that once we get the funds from the Department of Education. But that was all part of the evaluation plan and everything that we submitted at the beginning of the year.
I have a question.
Mhm.
What about the social worker? She's not considered,
No, I believe we include the social worker in that.
okay.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
nurse too?
So classroom teachers,
Okay.
and then administration, principal, assistant principal, social worker.
Okay, gotcha.
What's the that's a good question.
Well, I was, the nurse too, is she included?
No,
Really?
she's not licensed through the Department of Education, so she's not
Oh,
certified.
right,
Okay,
yeah.
I thought she would, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good question. So Valparaiso University did do their visit here, and it was fantastic. The professor, I think, was kind of blown away. He had a lot of questions, not bad questions, just curiosity. And I think he did a good job of kind of building additional questions from the students. So it was a good experience to have them here. Yeah, it was a good time. School safety, so as I shared with you all, we are updating our school safety procedures a little bit following the SRP model. We did the parent discovery dialogue this afternoon. Went from dismissal right into our computers to do that, so that is posted. As I mentioned to you, it's been shared with the local law enforcement. Teachers are working on their training and sharing that information with their students. But really, it's a more straightforward, kind of direct approach to school safety. All drills and everything will be announced, so it takes away kind of the shock value of everything. And for things like the lockdown, it kind of simplifies everything because as the data suggests, the locked door is the number one thing. So kind of all those things that we've seen in training and been practicing before, we can kind of move away from and just focus on making sure those doors are locked in those types of situations.
Got a quick question.
Yeah.
Students with autism or sensory issues, are that being dealt with in a separate way so they're not overwhelmed?
So if there's situations where students respond to maybe to the fire alarm, we've in the past taken those students outside a couple minutes ahead of time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And they usually get more advanced notice
Yeah.
than even the teachers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Did parents, did anybody tune in for the Discovery Dialogue?
They did not, but looking at the calendar and our schedule and trying to move times around between those, that's kind of what's available. But it's on the website, and so we'll send that information out as well. And so the website will have, so we added a school safety tab to the website. So the video presentation's there, the SRP family handout, a link to the I Love You Guys Foundation, which is who created the SRP. So the background behind them is they lost a daughter in a school shooting. And the last text they received from her was, I love you guys. So that's where the name of the foundation came from. So that was part of the school safety training we did last year. And like when we did it, we're like, well, let's make this change. And then after we got through the school year, we were able to kind of go through it, so.
I think staff feedback has been really
Yeah.
great. They feel it's really simplified things too, and that's really what matters most.
Yeah, because I think before kind of the concern is the whole barricading piece and all the steps you have to do inside. And the focus here is the data suggests it's not necessary because once an intruder hits that locked door, they're going to keep moving. I think they cited that the only situation where a locked door was breached was, I don't remember the name, but they broke the window. And so the door itself stood firm. So yeah, so school safety. Mrs. Moore?
So for administration team news, we just talked about the Discovery Dialogue, and that will be fully implemented on November 1st. To continue or piggyback off of the VU, I was invited with other local educators to the Professional Educators Partnership, the PEP at VU. And it was a planning meeting. It was really great that the person who is taking over PEP was looking for feedback from just local educators, their superintendents were their principals, teachers, and giving feedback about what our needs are for our staff. And so I'm going to continue being part of that group. I appreciated that they were very interested in us. They really wanted to include more parochial schools, charter schools. It was really nice to talk about us. I was really proud to represent our school, so I hope they keep inviting us. Family-friendly school update. We received approximately 60 family surveys, which was nice, and Kelly, Lisa, and I sat down and went through that information. Student surveys are being administered this week. Excited to see the results of those. And we've already taken some action on the responses from the family surveys. And feel free, Kelly or Lisa, if you want to expand upon any of these things. Working on a diversity board, translation services, power school notifications we just sent out, increased student involvement in decision making, student council, and Lisa, I know you brought up the idea of the board as well here. So we're gonna see what the student surveys say and keep, responding to the feedback we receive.
We have families for the diversity wall. Families, I put it out on Facebook, and we had like a great response to it. And basically, from their background, they picked a country that they know about and are doing the wall outside of the gym that you face when you're coming out of it. They're gonna do whatever they like to it. So they have to submit it to us to make sure it's school appropriate and whatnot. But then that is going up, and the first one will be Germany, and that's gonna be up by November 1st. And it will change every month. So we have one every month this year, and then even into the next school year. And then our other thought is to get a huge map of the world and put it on the walls by where the sinks are, and let kids be able to, and we have to work out the specifics, but put like a pin in from where they're from. So just to kind of show the diversity in our school.
Excited to see the first one go up. Committee updates, professional development. We completed Renaissance Star training on October 6th. I will say the feedback from staff was it's the most meaningful data training they've had. So I was very excited to hear that. Great trainer we had. And so we're going to continue to practice using the data with how the trainer showed staff to use it. And so I think they're becoming more familiar and comfortable with the system and see that data is useful. 10-12, there was ELL training in West Lafayette. We had a SPED teacher attend, second grade teacher, third grade teacher, and a high ability teacher attend. 10-28, as in tomorrow, we have Crisis Prevention Institute training, CPI training for admin and special education staff. The focus is on de-escalation techniques. And other additional training, paraprofessional training was completed, and the state test was completed. This is the first time that we have asked them to complete that. But feel, of course, it's very beneficial. Curriculum data. Curriculum during the first e-learning day, all grade levels completed a common curriculum template. And that was to plan and prepare for the second 9 weeks. Data, Rti meetings took place during the end of September, beginning of October, and it was great to have our specialists meet with teachers to discuss the beginning of the year results, and then students were identified in need of reading and math interventions, and families were notified. It's been really great having our specialists this year. Place-based and sustainability, recycling, middle school students are doing a fabulous job going around and collecting and recycling. And then, I'm so excited, I get to show you. This was a lovely dream of mine, I'm not gonna lie. I was very excited, and Mrs. Pavlovic, our naturalist, helped my dream come true. And so every staff member received a bag. It's a field bag. And so when they get ready to go on their weekly hikes, then they grab their bags, which are just so cute, right? So cute. And they are loaded with items that Mrs. Pavlovic and I researched, and so we talked about like which guides would help them, because I'm not gonna lie, if I go down the trail, I don't know what everything is or what it's called, and a student asks a question, and how great is it to be able to pull out and say, oh, I know what bird that is, and be able to use the guides and identify them. Lots of cool things. Staff are super excited. They've been sporting their bags around school, but even something as simple as this of, I want to collect an organism and put it in a jar and bring it back inside and remember to return it to nature. So, but yeah, they've been really great. So I was excited to share this lovely bag. Sorry, I had to take a moment for that. So. And then our seasons boards continue outside the library area towards the music classroom. Mrs. Pavlovic and Miss Murray continue to work on them. Right now it shows our school's migration celebration featuring the Saw-Whet Owl. We had special guests this week. I'm sure maybe you've seen some pictures on Facebook. It's been so great seeing the live owls. We had 3 this year, and so we're just having so much fun this week with owls. STEM, we are in the process of finalizing our definition. Actually, I feel like we finalized it today, and so we're going to be sending it out. We're very excited. And then I'm meeting with the state to discuss some next steps, but we're working still on becoming STEM certified. Special events policies, we have conferences happening next week, and the book fair is coming up soon. Other things, this will be released in our newsletter this week about getting Love and Logic again for all Discovery families for free, and it's virtual. And so signups will be coming up here maybe tomorrow or Friday through conferences. We're going to advertise it during conferences. But excited to continue Love and Logic. We've continued to offer training to staff every single year since we started the training in person. And so we want to keep offering it to our families as well, so we all are speaking the same language.
One of the tours that I gave, they were so happy to hear that our staff has gone through that because they were familiar with it.
Oh,
And they actually did put in applications. So
wow.
I don't know if that was the whole reason, but they were definitely very happy to hear that.
That's great. I love
My
that.
two are like the owls everywhere.
Oh. Owls, Love and Logic. Social emotional update. SEL Wednesday started on October 20th. So in addition to Miss Millie going into classrooms and presenting information on character education, teachers are also implementing on Wednesdays for like morning work time. They're doing an activity with their kids to help support what Miss Medley's doing. Bullying lessons will happen during this month, and Miss Medley and I just interviewed for a spring semester intern. So we currently have an intern that's with us all year who is here on Mondays and Thursdays, and this other intern that we feel very confident in will be here on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So we'll have an intern here every single day of the week.
What lessons did you say?
Lessons, bullying.
Bowling.
I thought you said
bowling.
bowling.
I did
Oh,
too.
I was like, bowling
I blame the
lessons.
mask. Bullying. Bowling sounds fun.
Bowling would be
That's what
great.
I was
Yes.
thinking.
And then Miss Medley participated in the Tuesdays at 10 at Doombrook. She was a guest speaker to talk about pandemic stress on children and what parents can do about it. And then there is the discipline report. Detention's 18, in school suspension's 8, out of school suspension's 9. It's a busy month. And still busy. Any questions, comments, thoughts?
I can't believe how big our 6th grade class is. That's amazing. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, our middle school increased this year, which is good.
Let's see, working groups, development.
So brick order's been placed.
How many were ordered? Like, was it-
I knew you were gonna ask that, and I had every intention to look. It was in the 60s?
I think it was 80 to 100.
Wow.
Oh, I could,
Yeah.
I could look.
What was
That's
the
okay. I
targeted
didn't know if it was like
amount?
10
I don't know
or
that we had
1,000.
much of an expectation.
Large. Or random large.
I thought it'd be more too.
We didn't know what to expect. I mean, so I think about $10,000 was generated.
Okay.
So
Not bad for the first round.
No.
Yeah.
And once people see other people's bricks, they're gonna
Right.
like them, so.
Exactly.
So the area is what, 20 by 20?
20 by 30
20 by 30. So whatever's not inscribed will be,
will be
Blank,
blank
right?
ones, yes.
Alright.
So they're gonna
Reserved
start
for
doing an outside perimeter of the ones that are engraved and then fill the inside with the
Okay.
blanks.
Can always be added on to too.
Yeah.
of course,
Or pathways leading up to it, however you want to approach it.
good.
So it was about a 6 to 7 week turnaround, but David Landscaping said whenever we have a date, they should still be able to work because they're not digging that deep into the ground. So despite the weather, it should still be installed this fall when they arrive.
Maybe it would even work over winter break, if it's not snowing.
Yeah. And then open house tours. We sponsored the turkey trot, which is coming up, right?
On Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and there's another one we will discuss at the next meeting, about sponsoring the Duneland Chamber trick-or-treating, if it doesn't get rained out on Friday, right?
Yes, it's not looking great.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh, I haven't even looked at it.
It's supposed to rain all day Friday.
Yeah.
We renewed the around the clock.
Renew the round-the-clock placemats. So, yes, so that's where we're at, kind of waiting for these bricks to come in and proceed with that.
Finance, did you guys meet?
We've not met, no. So I think once we get a updated budget, then we can discuss if we need to make a meeting.
And then-
But based on financials, I mean, maybe we don't need to right now, so we'll see.
We should just to keep an eye on it.
Okay,
And then policy, we do need to have a meeting.
yeah. We've had some discussions trying to figure out best ways to approach things like board term limits and whether or not that should be included in the bylaws. Was able to check in with Monica about it, and she shared her thoughts. So we just need to probably meet and discuss how we want to approach it based on her guidance, so.
So we we could figure something out
Yeah.
in the next couple days.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, with Tim stepping down, is there a third person that wants to join with the policy working group?
I was also on the finance group too.
And the finance group.
See, Tim?
Am I in the
Jessica
policy
said she'll
meeting?
join
I'll do the
policy.
You'll do
I think
policy?
I- I
Okay,
think I
so
was.
Jessica will add the
My
policy.
lease might have been in the policy.
No, she was on
No.
finance.
My lease is on finance.
I was on finance the first
Yeah.
time we did that. That was a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we had a bigger group from when we were working on that one
Okay.
specific item.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Who volunteered? I missed that.
Jessica will join policy,
Okay.
so.
Kelly?
Okay, so for PAC, probably our biggest thing was at the beginning of the month, we had our Fall Fest. Weather gave me an ulcer, but it all turned out, and it actually turned out really well. Thanks to Tim again for the band, people seem to love it. We had $8,000 in pre-orders of tickets and sales, and almost $4,000 at the door. So, in the end of the day, we made about $16,000 on Fall Fest. So that was great, considering I wasn't expecting that much. And then we just wrapped up our pie sales. They also went really well. Last year we sold 618 pies. This year we sold 659 pies. So we increased it. It's a profit of around $3,000. There's still some things coming in and out. That we lost $1 on profits this year because of prices increased. So, but it was good. And those will all be picked up November 5th. We have fall parties coming up at the end of this week. PAC puts those on. There's a lot of effort going on with volunteers. It looks like it's going to be fun. It's in the afternoon. If anyone is around, and it'd be a fun day to stop in and see what's going on in the classrooms. Our bonfire got canceled. We weren't able to reschedule it. We'll try it again next year. And we had that successful owl program, like you said. We're looking into maybe something else like that in the winter because people seem to love that. So I talked to Mrs. Pavlovic about some other ideas that are similar to that. And then coming up, we have our Twilight Parade, the Duneland thing. It's on 5 o'clock on the 27th. I think that's Saturday of Thanksgiving. So you're all welcome to participate with us. Sign-ups will be coming out soon. I think we're going to limit it to 100 or 150 people. And we're going to do a Polar Express theme. Ernesto's going to help us out with that, and it should be fun. So if you're interested in joining us for that, let me know, but there'll be opportunities to sign up for that coming out.
They changed that date. It was always on Fridays.
I'm pretty sure it's 11/27, which is a Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, that's our husbands. They share birthday, so that's their birthday. You get to be at a parade on your birthday, guys.
Kelly, was there a deadline we had to fill out that job?
I already did it.
You did? Okay.
I did it. And lastly, we did have our treasurer election. We had a pretty good turnout for it. It was a close election. Vicki Plath won it, and she seems like she's all on board, so it's going to be great. I think that is about all I have to say, unless you have any questions.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
And then recognition.
Thank you, Tim.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tim.
You're welcome.
I also wanted to thank all the volunteers that are putting together the parties this week because it is a lot of work.
They've been meeting and plotting and asking for money and coming up, making do with little, making fun out of little things. So it's pretty cool.
And then Pamela for initiating the volunteer spotlight because I feel like that's a great thing.
That is cool.
And then I wanted to thank staff for going up over and above and doing all the extracurricular activities and clubs and athletics because I know that is a lot after their long days. So just wanted to give a shout out to them.
And I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to serve. It has truly been an honor to volunteer for this school, and I wish everyone the best.
Last chance.
Gonna miss us.
All right, so the next meeting that we have will be December 15th, and we have an executive meeting on November 2nd at 7:30. And the meeting is adjourned at 7:36.
Thank you.
I just want to repurpose.
You don't want to put it on like a memory wall?
Oh, well, I'll just say this. Keep it. I'm
I've never
very
gotten
open to
clearing
that,
from
that's for
Aide.
sure.